Hello, Virgo. Thank you very much for tuning into this week's read. For the main part of the read, I'm using Tarot Illuminati by Eric C. Dunn. Supportive Oracle cards, Chakra Wisdom Oracle cards by Tori Hartman, illustrated by Gretchen. There's Gretchen's last name. Instead of me trying to butcher it, I'll just put that up there for you. Okay. What do we have for Virgo? Where are we going with this? Where are we going? This is going to be interesting. Alright, so a lot of the unknown. Let's see what we're going into. Going right into this whole situation, you have mysticism with a face down card, which I can now see that card. Mysticism in friendship. Actually, the Three of Cups is like social atmospheres. Could be coworkers, could be family members, but if it is coworkers or family members, these are people you get along with. So not every family is cohesive like that. Not every co-working situation is like a good time. But if this is going to fit, you get along with these people. But there's also a very strong air of mystery. The face down card is recovery, which I'm almost feeling that maybe you're hoping for something to get better. Almost like the people you're dealing with, whether it be family, friends, coworkers, whatever it may be, it's in a moment where you're kind of like you're not really comfortable. And something in the past did not go well, and you're hoping for recovery, literally recovery. Like things will go better. Maybe something in the past that didn't go so well, maybe now those circumstances have changed. Maybe somebody you're connected with, maybe they've changed spouses, or they've gotten rid of a spouse, or a situation they were a part of before they're no longer a part of, and you're thinking maybe they had something to do with that problem in the past, and you're hoping since that went away, maybe they're going to be a little bit better now. Maybe you're hopeful. I do feel like you're slightly hopeful, but you're also kind of realistic about it, kind of like maybe. As it keeps going forward, I mean, it's a little weird. It's kind of on its side, but it's kind of tipping upside down. It's almost going upside down. You do want to believe the best of this person, but I also feel like you're very investigatory. Investigatory? Is that a word? You're investigating the situation with them. I do feel like it's kind of rocking back and forth. You're searching out your answers. You're trying to see if this person is maybe going to be better than they have in the past. It's hard to ignore the past. It's really hard to ignore the past. And you're kind of like, you want to be hopeful, but you're kind of like, Because you know if you ignore the past, that's foolish. It's foolish to just discount the history of a situation. It's foolish. It really is. So you're kind of looking at it like, I want to be hopeful, but I don't know if I really should be. This is as time kind of wears on. In the beginning, you really want to recover the situation. You want to be hopeful, but as it keeps weighing on you, keeps washing over you, you're like, isn't that kind of stupid of me to do? Because history shows us who we really are, doesn't it? Doesn't it? This one's upside down too. You're questioning if you should just as it keeps going on, you're not looking to make a big issue, but you're kind of like, maybe I should let that coworker, friend, relative even, just kind of go their own way. Maybe I should just let them go their own way and just kind of let it be. Maybe it doesn't need to be an issue, but maybe I'm also kind of done with them at the same time. It's kind of like just quietly letting it sail away, just kind of like putting it on the water and just letting it drift off on its own on a slight breeze, just kind of going off on its own. The Knight of Wands reversed is kind of like not holding your ground any longer, but it's kind of in a peaceful release is kind of what I'm feeling here. The self-worth is kind of like, maybe this is for the best, and you're questioning, like, maybe is this for the best? The other side doesn't seem to be rebuttaling that. Okay. New energy coming in. this person is who they are. I feel like what you've experienced with them in the past is authentic. So if they've treated you bad in the past, or I feel like the worst case, worse than that, instead of treating you bad, somebody you care about, they treated somebody else poorly and it wasn't right. And you've seen this happen. You saw them treat somebody else you care about poorly. You knew it was wrong. However that played out, but it really gave you like that third person perspective to see what they do, how they feel, how they felt justified doing what they did without it being done to you. Because I feel like for most of you, it wasn't done to you. You watched it being done to someone else, and you really got to see like the inner workings of their mind and how they felt. And I'm getting this as kind of like one of those moments where you're looking back at that history and you're just kind of like, how long before that comes towards me? Because they are who they are. They're very sound in who they are. When I get the Emperor with the Princess of Pentacles, I'm getting the communication as the Princess of Pentacles. Like they seem to be on the same reel. They use the same terminology, the same ways of describing certain types of people. Some of these people may be a little bit careless in their descriptions. They may use very outdated terms or terms that may be hurtful or harmful in the grand scheme of things, but they might not see it that way. They might have the attitude, well, I grew up with these certain words, so why can't I use these certain words? Meanwhile, in today's society, we've learned like certain phrases or words kind of can be damaging to people without you realizing it and cause some problems down the road. But they don't feel the need to change that. You're trying to understand what to do with this. You're also realizing kind of stepping up against this, because they have some really weird thought patterns is what I'm getting. It might be a very outdated way of feeling or treating people. It might be an outdated way of treating people. And when I say outdated, it wasn't really okay in the past, but it's something that was very accepted in the past that's come to light in more recent times that's not healthy. And you see it that way. I feel like you're connected, kind of like, no, you can't really treat somebody like that way because it can really cause a damaging situation. That's not really healthy to do that. But you're also knowing they don't want to hear it. You've probably gone through your own struggles with certain things like that. The easiest thing I can think of to come forward with, and I don't really want to do this, but like, I'm pushed towards it, so I'll go for it. Like, sometimes weight issues and how people describe people who are a little larger. It's a very negative thing that sometimes people do, and then realizing, that's not helping anybody. It's not making anybody get inspired to do anything other than feel bad, if that. And it's kind of like realizing that terminology that people used to use and ways of describing people is just not helpful. There's no really reason to use certain words because they just boil down to being hurtful. There's no positive annotation to certain phrases and words and descriptions. And then just stepping back and being like, people are who they are, and it's none of your business what they do. There's no reason to use certain words or certain descriptions when it's not helping anything. I think a lot of us learn these lessons when we have certain things that we're sensitive about. There's different words, and words come towards us, and then we start thinking, I don't know why people need to use those words. And then you realize you've been using words yourself that hurt other people, and you didn't realize it. I feel like a lot of us come towards it in that sense. Like there'll be a certain phrase comes at you, and you'll be like, I don't like it when people say that. I don't like it when people describe me that way. But then you realize you say something else, and you're like, I didn't think there was any problem with that. And then someone's like, well, I don't really like it when somebody says that. You become a little bit more sensitive to it, kind of like, well, I don't like people saying that to me. So in turn, I'll change my verbiage for these other situations where I can, and hopefully that comes back my way too. Whoever this is hitting for, which I don't know how many people this is going to hit for, but the energy I'm connecting to here is like a more evolved, more aware, kind of like how I'm affecting the world, and how I affect the world is how the world affects me. It's kind of like what you put out. If you put out some understanding and trying to make things better, it comes back your way. People try to understand you and try to make things better. Like it seems to be that evolved feeling. Like if I put out understanding and I try to understand and I try to be more accommodating, people will also, I'll start gravitating in those circles, and people who have that mindset will start coming closer to me, and that will filter into me as much as I filter it out. It'll be a process that I keep going through, but it's very helpful. It's a very evolved feeling, which is very interesting to me. Because when I'm connecting to this reading, that's very strong in this reading. And it's why I feel like you're having a very big problem with this person. I feel like you may end up disassociating with this person for a while. Whether it be friend, family, coworker, whatever. It'll be just the basics, just whatever you have to do with them. I don't want anything else to do with this. I don't like how they treat people. I don't want to be treated that way. You are affording this person an opportunity. The wheel is turning and growth is being offered to them. If they're going to take it or not, that's another thing. I'm flipping these cards. There's a lot of them out here, and it's really... Okay. You're affording them a moment of opportunity. You really are. I don't know if this is good or bad. I got to be honest with you. Because they're seeing this as an opportunity, but are they seeing this as an opportunity? I see this as something as when you're pulling back, they know why. They seem to know why. If you haven't told them directly, somebody else is telling them what you didn't like. Or, it's something about their attitude. This is their opportunity for growth. The wheel is there. The wheel can go good or bad. The wheel does not automatically guarantee something good. Could go left, could go right, could go good, could go bad, whatever. Not that it's subjective to the direction it's going, but you know what I mean? When it turns, best hope forward, but when it's actually finished turning, that's when you know if it went good or bad. It's not by the direction it went, but like when it's done, finished turning, what you ended up with. And I'm also getting the Empress. Just don't get it caught up in the gender, but it's upside down in the environment, kind of like having a really rough time understanding a situation and wanting to conform to it. Ironically, that's kind of good for the situation because it seems like they're fighting it, but they have the potential to turn it right side up. At first glance, they're going to be bitter about it. They're going to be blaming you for it. You're too sensitive. You're this. You're that. That's literally where it's going to start. They do have the ability to turn it. Will they? Let's keep going. Because I feel like they're not accepting of this moment. You're pulling back. They don't seem to like that. I don't see them liking that at all. I'm getting the Five of Cups, the Six of Swords, and the King of Wands. All coming in sideways. This is telling me this energy isn't good nor bad at this moment. It's undetermined. So it's kind of like questioning. Is this a good moment or bad moment? Who knows? Is it going to pan out good or bad? Who knows? The Five of Cups, when it's right side up, it's kind of like, that's a pessimistic card. This is more optimistic. This is saying it depends how the rest of this, it depends on the next few weeks when this starts really heating up. It depends on the next few weeks how that's going to, it's like it's depending on how it pans out. This is like, are we going to cut our losses and ditch? Like this would be moving on. This would be staying stuck in the same situation. Is the situation going to move on and something different come in? Or are we going to keep repeating the same situation? This is like the action being taken, right? Being on its side is telling me there's a lot of action going on either way. Some of it's going to be counterproductive. Some of it's going to be very good. But how it shakes out at the end is what really matters. So there's like this limbo time that seems to be about deciding, should we keep going? Is there something to do with this? Is this person going to evolve? Is this person just dragging you down? Are they going to continue to drag you down? Or are they going to pull their head out of their butt and figure out what the deal is here? This is what I feel is going to hang out. This is where this is headed. I like that this card flipped out this way. Trickery reversed is like, this person's true feelings will come out. So if they're willing to look at the situation in a different light, that will be very apparent and it will be very obvious. If they're not, that will also be very apparent and that will be very obvious. I don't think there'll be anything to like wonder here. They're either going to be willing to or not willing to. I'm getting it's from here that you have to decide what to do. I'm noticing you have joy though. So this tends to make me feel like whatever happens here, either you're moving on from it and you're like, you don't have any guilt about it. Fine is fine. Or this person is coming around and you're kind of shocked. I feel like there's a little bit of shock with it. But it's happy shock. And you got the Three of Pentacles with it. No matter if it goes good or bad, if it goes good, this is something where you're going to get kind of closer to this person and you're going to educate them more about things you've learned, and you might find ways to find out more information. If this goes south, I feel like the joy card is literally saying you tried, you did your best, no, nothing negative on you, but it's time to go, and you're working towards just letting it go. I know it's the joy card, and I don't feel like a lot of you are going to have to walk away from this, but if you do, you're going to feel like that freedom that you're not going to regret walking away. You're going to be like, no, we tried to work it out. They don't want to. So I need to move on from this, and I don't feel any guilt for it. And you'll work towards something else. You'll work on moving towards somebody else. You'll fill that spot with another person. It won't be a problem. It's kind of ending there. I don't really feel anything beyond that. This seemed like it was a very intense, deep reading. I feel like the people this is going to really hit for are those people who, I guess the stereotypical term is they're woke. I hate using like those cliche words because within a month or two they usually become cliche. But it's like somebody who's more connected to like how other people feel, and they realize, how I treat others is how people treat me. And if I can do something better for the world by just trying to change some verbiage, how hard is that really? If that could just make somebody else's life better by just changing some verbiage, why not do that? It's not that big of a deal. And if it really makes a positive impact, I want to be a person that makes a positive impact. I want to do that. And it's just having that evolved sense, like it's really not that hard to do. It's all about having the mindset and the willingness to just try. And I feel like this has a lot to do with that, and people who are willing to align themselves with it and people who are not. I feel like that's a lot to what this has to do with. I do feel like you're doing your part. I feel like this is a really good thing. I feel like standing up for this the way you are actually feels good to me. Feels like you're making that impact. So even if it doesn't work out for the person here and they don't move forward, people around the situation who are observing it or hearing about it secondhand, it's affecting them. And it's making them realize that some people have the strength to stand up for what they think is right, and they'll stand by those principles. So as hokey as it may sound, it's like doing the right thing actually will have the good benefit going down the line. So it's worth that. That's what I'm feeling. Anything else here? All right, I think we're done. Thank you for watching. If you'd like a direct reading from me, shoot me an email, jamesforastral@gmail.com. That's James, the number 4, astral@gmail.com. Thank you.